people, the people that he support and trying to take a stand for. And then on the bottom half was a picture of Kaepernick, and surrounded in the same type of way with the people he's supposed to be standing for. And the person who put the meme up put it up under there, kind of under the pretext that different time, but it's the same struggle, it's the same fight, and Kaepernick is like doing the same thing. And a lot of people that responded on there, one in particular I can think of, he has like some really, really like venomous things to say. He wanted to throw up a picture of Colin Kaepernick's adopted family, and basically try to say like, how can he there's no way he could be fighting the same struggle as Ali, as if because he was he said that this guy is totally privileged. He's always been wealthy, spoiled, and privileged. All right, so I did a little bit of background, a little bit of investigating into this, right? So Colin Kaepernick is biracial. His father is classified by the United States as being black. His mother is classified as being white. His mother was 19 years old when she had him. From the sources that I was reading, when dad found out what was going on, he dipped. He did the punk move and he dipped out on her. Young 19-year-old girl, not sure what to do, wound up meeting this family, the Kaepernicks. They're a Christian family, Lutheran, I believe is their faith, and decided that, hey, I'm not going to be able to do nearly as good a job with this child as that these folks would be able to do. So they were a family that lived in Wisconsin. I forgot the city that they lived in Wisconsin. When he was 4 years old, they moved him out to the family moved to Turlock, California. Turlock, as my wife used to live in California, so she told me it's
not positive, but it was an area where it's suburban area. They had some affluent
families,
in
like middle class, upper middle class, not like super wealthy folks. Father was a businessman. I believe I read that they were saying that they ran like a cheese business or something like that. They were cheese makers, the Kaepernicks. There are people on social media who try to act like because of that situation, first of all, you can't adopt yourself. I can't imagine that any child, I don't care if you're a baby or if you're 14 or whatever, if somebody is willing to show up and stand up for you and adopt you, and they seem like good people to you, they seem like they ain't gonna try to kill you or hurt you, you're not going to care what color they are, man. You out of there because you don't want to be in that system. So you can't adopt yourself. And I feel like that's a really ridiculous argument. There's other people acting like, you can't try to stand up, for quote unquote black people, if you never lived the experience or anything.
Almost every group that I'm in, sports groups, regular groups, people are saying that he's didn't live the black experience.
Personally, I don't know how in a country like America, I don't give a damn who raised you or where they raised you at. I don't see how you could be black or have any type of black in you, part, half, quarter, or whatever, not looking white, and you ain't lived the black experience. Because let me see. My father's Panamanian. Most people, especially in the United States, would look at the man because of his skin tone and say, "Oh, he's black." My mother is American, classified as black, right? However, when I was in elementary school, my mother put me into an elementary school that was down the job from her work. She worked from her job. She worked for the Human Resources Administration down in Lower Manhattan. I went to PS234. All white school in a very affluent area. Some people were super wealthy in that area that had kids in the school or whatever. I was the only black. I wouldn't say I was the only black kid in the school, but there was a small handful of us. And often in whatever class I was in, whether it was first, second, third, fourth, fifth grade, I was usually like maybe one of two, maybe three black kids. And when you grow up in that environment and people can look at you and see that you're not white, it's clear to them that you're not white, please believe you feeling some type of racial heat. You know, what degree it is going to vary. You know, people's experience is going to be different, but you feeling some type of degree of heat. And for this dude Kaepernick, you're adopted by a white family. He even said in an interview back in 2015 for Us Magazine, he said that, you know, his family used to like to go on road trips and things like that. And he said, you know, the older he got, the taller that he got and everything like that, they'd go on these road trips, they'd stop in motels, and he said without fail, every motel that they went into, they'd be in the lobby, you know, trying to get their room, and some nervous hotel manager wants to come up to him. And he said it didn't matter if I tried to stand in the middle of my family or how close I stood to my family, they would always walk up to him all nervous and scared and everything, talking about how can I help you? You know, he's clearly not the adult with the group, but you want to come straight to him and how can I help you? Because his presence is making you nervous. Because in America, if you black, if you quote unquote black, or people looking at you like you quote unquote black, you always the big scary black guy. Doesn't matter where you go, doesn't matter who you with, doesn't matter if you got a family full of affluent white folks, it doesn't matter. That's always going to be your experience.
There have been stories that I've read about, stories that I've heard about biracial kids as they were growing up, being in schools of these neighborhoods that are mostly white neighborhoods, going to mostly white schools, and being in a classroom where a teacher might have gotten something taken out of her purse or something taken out of her desk. And them being the only children of color in the classroom, they automatically
every time something's missing
pointed at them. So, I mean, I don't know how Colin Kaepernick grew up. I wasn't there. None of us were. And we can only go on accounts of what he said. But to say that he didn't live the black experience, I mean,
it's madness.
Yeah, because being that you're biracial and you're surrounded by white people, trust me, they're going to look at you like you're the one. Anytime there's a rap...
Weren't you telling me a story about your sister?
Yeah, but hold on a second. But my sister's not biracial, but...
The point is like when you're non-white, when you're the only non-white person in that white environment...
Yeah, going to school and at college, on a separate floor from this young lady that the situation happened. Apparently something was stolen from the young lady's room. And my sister was basically questioned and told that they were going to search her room because she was the only black girl
in the dorm.
So, yeah, being in a situation like that, it escalated. Of course, parents had to get called and come up there. But this is how it happens a lot, you know, and people don't get it. Even though these children are biracial, they're growing up and they're dealing with stuff that sometimes worse than the stuff that us as full, what we would consider full black, are having to deal with. And
you know, I didn't have to, like Colin Kaepernick also said in this interview, he had to deal with, you know, schoolmates, classmates talking about there's no way that your parents can be your parents because his skin color was different. I never went through that experience. I'm full-blown black, and I never had somebody look at me and be like, those ain't your parents. Never had somebody look at me like that.
These two young ladies said that they were in, at one school, two sisters, they're biracial. In school, somebody wrote nigger on the wall in the teacher's lounge. They also wrote some words like fucking nigger on the wall in the girls' bathroom and the boys' bathroom. They automatically accused both of these young ladies of doing it. These young ladies said that whenever there was a rap lyric or whatever that came out that the kids liked in the school, they came to them like, you give us an explanation for it because you're black. You know, as a black girl growing up, I didn't have people coming up to me saying that to me like, you know the song, you're black, you know the song. I mean, sometimes, depending on what my circle was, I might have had somebody say, what does this mean? But I wasn't always looked at the one. I wasn't the one that was always looked at like, hey, you're the mascot for all black people, so you've got to tell them that. And that's exactly what happens with biracial children.
Particularly, especially in the context of being raised in an all-white area. You know what I mean? I might have went to that elementary school, but I lived, you know, in a black neighborhood. So being somebody who is, whether you biracial you half black, you fully black or whatever. When your living situation is that basically everybody around you is white, is not black. That's your experience. So to try to say that like he never had the black experience, which I'm taking for people to mean is that he never really even experienced any type of racism because of who he was adopted by and how he grew up. It just logically is bullshit. Complete and utter bullshit. What else did I want to just make sure? Then we have the headlines coming out about, according to USA Today, that the workout was reportedly set up at the behest of NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell and NFL consultant or NFL liaison. I really don't know what to give Jay-Z's NFL title. Consultant or liaison, Jay-Z, at their behest, right? Again, look at the wording, reportedly at the behest of, who knows who leaked this or said this to put it out there into the news cycle. But I will say one thing, because this is another thing that I came across in a sports group scrolling on social media page. This dude Jay-Z put his reputation on the line for Colin Kaepernick. Alright, now pause. Jay-Z is a capitalist. Okay, he's an American businessman. That means, a major businessman. I'm not talking about somebody with a small business. I'm talking about a dude that's made major cake. I believe he was just announced in Forbes recently as becoming a billionaire. Nobody in his position as a capitalist is ever going to put their reputation on the line for anybody. Jay-Z is not putting his reputation on the line for somebody to jam him up to where his paper starts to slow up. It just ain't happening. Alright? The other thing is, they're talking about at the behest of Jay. Why would this be? I mean, I know that people want to think that as a brother that Jay-Z is trying to do this for him, but Jay-Z doesn't even have legal authority to speak for Colin Kaepernick. As a matter of fact, when that deal between Jay-Z and the NFL was first announced, they did like a little press conference. I believe it was up in the Rock Nation building, and I think it was Charlamagne the God who asked the question, or somebody else that was there. Somebody else in the media asked, to ask Jay-Z, did you speak with Colin Kaepernick and about this deal that you were planning to make or anything? Did you invite him to come and speak with Roger Goodell with you or anything like that? Jay-Z said, I did not speak to him about this deal and I did not invite him to come be a part of the conversation. So you're going to tell me now that two major businessmen like Roger Goodell, Jay-Z is a businessman. Roger Goodell is somebody, though, that is part of big time major business. You're going to tell me that these two people are going to try to negotiate on behalf of a party that's not present without their authorization? Colin Kaepernick is not signed to Rock Nation Sports. What legal authorization would Jay-Z have to speak on this guy's part? None at all. So then it comes out that according to TMZ or whatever, that a source is reported saying that Jay-Z was disappointed in Colin Kaepernick's decision to abstain from the private workout that the NFL organized. But the interesting thing is that Rock Nation came on the internet on Monday and tweeted, Jay-Z never made no statements to nobody about any of this. It's a whole lot of things that don't add up. The NFL is talking about, he just wanted to control the narrative and tape it. First of all, you guys try to control the narrative. And for somebody in his position that had been treated the way that he was treated by your organization, NFL, why would he give you the ability to be the only ones that can control the narrative of how the footage was displayed and edited? That doesn't make any sense. Your own legal team would have never let you do it. Speaking of legal team, what I was reading on Pro Football Talk, the lawyers that they had analyzed the waiver and everything like that, they said that for Colin Kaepernick's legal team, it would have been malpractice for them to allow him to sign that waiver, because it basically would have put